can hear me okay. I see some people have already been waiting. Nice. Oh, wow. There's lots of comments here. Let's check these out really quick, really quick. Um, let's see. I'm excited. Is he in Korea? Yes, he is in Korea. 안녕하세요, 선생님. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Oh, that's right. That was yesterday. I would like to hear about Billy's hotel. Oh, no. Let's see. Welcome. 안녕하세요. I can already hear your YouTube countdown music in my head. Oh, hey, Arlie. Thanks for coming. As well as Secretive. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? I really don't know. This is my first time ever doing a live stream from my phone outside somewhere. So hopefully it looks okay. Does anyone know where I am right now? Does anyone know where this is? Actually, if someone came here right now, I'll be standing right here. There's actually nobody here in the park, which is why I picked this day and this time to come here, so that I'm not disturbing anyone else. In fact, right now I'm also wearing my mask. We're supposed to be wearing masks anywhere outdoors, unless you're like eating or drinking, of course. But that will change next month, the beginning of next month, I believe. Everyone who's gotten vaccinated can take off their masks outside, which is going to change. Yes, I am in Suwon Fortress, also known as Suwon Hwasong or Suwonsong, Suwon Castle sometimes. And it's really big. So this is not just, like, this thing right here is not all of Suwon Castle. This is just one of the gates. This is called, actually, I don't know if I want to say exactly which gate it is. If you know the gate, you know the gate. But there are a lot of places like this in Suwon Castle. The whole area, this giant area, is very pretty. Hold on, let me show you guys. Let me show all of you. See, I'll turn around here. You can see there are walls going all the way around there. They keep going way down there. On the other side, we have another building over there. Let's see, there, that one. You can also go all the way down there, and it goes down really far. I should know because I got off at a bus stop that is like maybe a 20-minute walk down that way. And I was walking for over 20 minutes to get here, just along the wall. And every few minutes I was walking, there would be another, like a cool gate or some other building that you can see, like a place to take pictures. And it all looks quite different depending where you're standing. I'll put it on my tourist list. Yes, actually, I would recommend Suwon as a place to visit if you're in Korea. Specifically here, I would recommend here as well as maybe a couple other places in Suwon, but there's not too much for a first-time visitor in Korea besides this place that I'm at right now, this whole wall area. But if you do visit, you can take a walk for you can take a 2-hour walk around, or there's also a tram. I'm not sure when it runs. If the tram was running right now, I don't know its schedule. If the tram was running right now, I would take all of you on it. But I see it's right there, but I don't know what time it goes. So I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. I'm going to be doing this just for about an hour or so. It is very hot, but yes, it's bearable. It's kind of windy. So welcome to the chat. I'm going to check some of your messages. How long have you officially been in Korea? I think I came here the 26th or 27th of May, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe 27th. Yeah. So I've been here almost a full month. Now, 2 of those weeks were just stuck at my house. Of course, everyone who visits Korea, regardless of anything, you have to do a 2-week quarantine. But that is also changing for next month. So, but not for just tourists. If you're visiting family in Korea, then you can get an exception for that. That'll change from next month. But otherwise, everyone who visits Korea has to do a 2-week quarantine. So I finished that. It's very boring. You can't do anything. You just stay at home all day, watching YouTube videos or whatever. And I have been actually out and making videos and meeting people for just a little bit over a week. Let's just check. I won't have enough time to check everyone's question, but I will try to at least read through everything. I want to go so badly. Yes, I wanted to go so badly too, which is why I came here. Hold on, let me, I'm actually a bit thirsty. I'm gonna have some water I brought. 한국에서 it is still here. Let's see. How old is your child now? Oops. He is, whoa, this is exploding. Oh, great, now I got carbonated water all over my cell phone. Okay, 안녕하세요. After I learned all the beginner stuff, where should I proceed? I'm not sure which beginner stuff you're talking about, so I can't give you a clear answer to that. I thought you lived in South Korea. Well, yes and no. I am here often. So yes, I have a place I can stay. Yes. It feels like my home. Yes. But most of the year I am in the US. My house is in Los Angeles there. And in Korea, my apartment is here in Suwon. Someone says, what part is that place in Korea? This is known as Suwon, which is not too far, about an hour away from Seoul, depending on how you get here. If you take the subway, it's about an hour. If you take, actually, yeah, it would be a little bit over an hour. But if you take the bus, it can be like 45 minutes. It depends what part of Seoul, but it's a little bit cheaper than Seoul. I'd say maybe a lot cheaper. And there's less stuff to do, but it's still quite nice. Have you been to the historic village in Suwon? Yes, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the traditional, the folk village. I made a video there, actually. If you check out my old uploads. So this was like maybe 2014. I did a video filmed from the Suwon Minsokchon, so the Suwon Folk Center. It's not a very good video. I'll be the first to say that. It's not very good, but I have been there a couple of times. And yes, it is also very nice, and I would recommend it as a tourist spot if you want to check out like it feels like a Korean drama set, like a historical drama set. Someone said, have you ever met some Korean actors and actresses? Apparently yes, but I don't know who they were. A few times I've been walking down the street and a Korean I'm with will say, oh, that was this person. And I'm like, I don't know. One time they saw some, I guess, famous DJ, I think. And the person, he was wearing like black sunglasses and a mask. But my friend recognized him. It's like, oh, it's that DJ. Okay. So yes, but no one that I can say that I never shook their hand. So no. Ginny says, hello from near Suwon. We will be able to recognize you by your trademark shirt and hat. Yes, you would easily recognize me in these clothes. So far, though, no one has recognized me in Korea, but I've only been out and about for about a week or so that's normal. Is it easy to get around Korea if you aren't all that fluent in Hangul? You mean fluent in Korean, or are you trying to say if you can't read Hangul, can you get... yeah, you'll have no problem if you're in Seoul. But if you want to enjoy the rest of Korea, which I really recommend, not only should you know how to read Hangul, which is the bare minimum, I also recommend knowing some basic Korean, because you're going to get lost. You're going to need to ask for help sometimes. You're going to need to order food at restaurants, and you should know basic stuff, or else it could, just to at least lower your stress level when you're traveling. So even if you use English, you'll know I have some Korean I can fall back on. But yeah. Oh, hey, Carrie, welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to read everyone's messages. They're going up quickly, but I'm doing my best. Sometimes it's okay to get a little bit lost. That's when you find interesting spots. Sure, that's a good way to think. That's a good way to look at it, yes. Someone asked, after the beginner course, when you get to level 100, when you get to, not level 100, doesn't go that high. When you get to lesson 100, the lesson actually explains that. So once you get there, watch that lesson and it'll tell you things that you can do from there. You have a very big fan base in Pyeongtaek? What do you mean? I have a fan base in Pyeongtaek. This is the first I've heard of this. Yes. Oh, there's a nice breeze right now. And yes, for everyone who just tuned in, I've just recently purchased a brand new green screen. In fact, this is the most realistic green screen I've ever had. It's actually so realistic, I can actually turn the camera and the green screen will move. See, check it out. Isn't this the coolest green screen ever? I'm gonna use this for every stream now. Someone asked, yeah, green screen has 4D effects. Yes, it's a separate accessory. It's a fan. I had to buy it, but it was definitely worth it. Yes. comes with the sun. Yeah, it's a very expensive light, trust me. 현실적이네요, yes. Hey Summer, welcome. Hello from the Philippines, welcome. Cool, yeah, where are all of you at right now? So I am in Korea, obviously. Stitch! Stitch, is Stitch here? Oh, Stitch! 참나. Stitch, 안녕. 안녕, Stitch. Canada, New York. Home, of course. Pennsylvania, India, Brazil, New York. Lots of Philippines, nice. Canada, Minnesota. 영국. Cool. Florida, Kansas, Colombia, Georgia, Arizona. Uruguay. Hawaii, Pakistan, California. Nice, that's where I'm from originally. A new book as your books. Any new books as your books are great. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Are there any other new books? Not yet. I will announce something when I get closer to it though. Random person in the background. Yes, there are actually a couple people here, but mostly because this is right now it's Monday morning. I came here early Monday morning. It is empty. Yesterday I was also here. Last night I also came here because this is next to one of my relatives' house, the people on my wife's family. She lives right around here. So I visited here and I could literally walk here from her house. It's like and I'm here. So it was really nice. So last night we went here and I walked around with my kid for about 30 minutes. So yeah, I really like this. I remember hearing a cool thing is like the city of Suwon is like a lot of the area in it here is actually surrounded by this wall. And if you're a tourist and you just visit Suwon, you might not even know that there's like a big wall around this giant area. You could just kind of walk around and be like, oh, there's a building, there's like a cool door, like like an old gate. And you wouldn't know unless someone told you like, oh, there's Suwon Castle. And then of course someone will tell you, but I'm just saying, imagine if you didn't know anything and you just came here. You might think this is just a small thing, but it goes all the way around like this giant area here. So yeah, I think I have walked around the whole thing once before, a long time ago. It takes a long time though. 날씨가 어때요? It's a little bit 더운데, 날씨가 더운데 바람이 불어서 괜찮아요. 바람이 불면 시원해요. 시원해져요. It gets cool when the wind blows. I'm trying to make like a simple sentence, sorry. So one of the hardest things about teaching is actually making like short and simple example sentences. 가겠습니다. 가보겠습니다. It depends on the situation you're using it. But for this live stream, since I don't have a whiteboard to explain, the shortest answer is 갑니다 is present tense. I go. 가겠습니다 is future tense. I'm gonna go. I will go. 가보겠습니다 is future tense plus the 보다. It's usually, I don't have enough time to do an explanation here because that's a whole grammar form. But I do have the hey 보다, the 보다 form in a live stream if you want to check that out. Chris's messages, I don't know why Chris's messages aren't showing. She's not on any hidden list or anything, but that's fine. 날씨가 더 더워지면 그 셔츠 벗으실. You know, I have two shirts on right now, Stitch. This is an overshirt and this is just my undershirt. So you're not gonna see anything if I take this shirt off. Stitch, you need a. Korea is morning. That's right. Let's see. Do you know of any? Someone asked, are you going to stream while walking? It's possible. I could do that. I thought about it. But then if people come in late, I'm just going to be walking instead of showing them this beautiful view. So we'll think about it. Name of Go Billy's fandom. I have a fandom name. It's Go Billy Goats. Goats. We made this name 2018. The end of 2018 we made this name. But we don't really use it very much. But if you want to use it, Go Billy Goats, feel free. That's actually why there is the goat icon when you join my channel. If you join to be a member, you get a little icon, and I believe the first or the second one is a goat. Okay, let's go up to the new comments. You said that it's green screen. Yeah, like I said, it's a very good green screen. So maybe a video walking through an area and highlighting the things in the video in post. I thought about that. I have a lot of video ideas that I'd like to film in Korea. Not enough time to film everything. J1U asks, do you also hold one-on-one private classes? Right now, no. I'm in Korea. I have paused all of my classes. Where I'm living, it's the same time but at night. Oh. 백신 맞으셨어요? 네, 미국에서 화이자 맞고 왔어요. Who are you with? I am with no one right now. I'm alone. It's just me. You will see it's only me right now. Someone asked, 이제 수원 어디로 가실 건가요? I'm just gonna 그냥 여기 있을 거예요. 맛있는 한국 음식은 드셨나요? 스티치. 네, 많이 먹고 있어요. 매일매일 맛있는 거를 먹고 있어요. I'm eating delicious Korean food every single day. Someone said, what are the blue things hanging from your house? Okay, this is really useful. So if I ever take off my mask, this is just a little strap. And they're really common. People have them. Like if you have to take a drink of water, then you lower your mask and it doesn't fall off onto the floor. I swear I saw this live before. That's weird. I've never done this live before. I've never done a live on my cell phone outside before. Actually, period. For this channel, especially anyway. 한국에서 가장 마음에 들었던 점은 무엇입니까? 한국 음식이라고 해야 되나? 한국 음식이요. Korean food, I think. Maybe. Me asked, what's your favorite thing so far that you've liked about Korea? And I probably think maybe food. First outside live, yes. Can I travel with you someday? Francis asks, can I travel with you someday? Probably not. I usually don't do just traveling. If I travel, it's usually going to be for a video. Last week, I actually did a series of videos in a city called Wonju. And that was the first time I've ever visited the entire area of Gangwon-do, which is like the northeast part of South Korea. I've never been in that entire province before. So this was the first time I've ever been there, and it was to film videos. So I don't usually just do traveling for the sake of doing traveling. I actually am not so interested in traveling. I'm more interested in meeting people or eating food and doing things. Derp asks, if we meet, can I get an autograph? Yeah, if you meet me, you can actually get one of my pens also. I carry around a few of my branded pens. So if you meet me, you find me, I'll give you one of the pens. Have you been to Cheiju? Yes, I have been to Cheiju. If it's possible, I really would like to go to Cheiju again this time for this trip, but I'm not sure because it would take a lot of time and a lot of planning to do that, so maybe not. Wow, it was super sunny when I came here, but right now it's a little bit overcast and it feels nice and cool. So it's not so hot anymore. This is great. Okay, I gotta go back to the most recent comments. Sorry, if I miss your comment, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying, I can only see like 2 or 3 comments at a time on my screen. Gilda asks, is Korea a beautiful place? Yeah, it's nice. There are lots of beautiful places in Korea. Did you apply sunscreen? Yes, on my face. Not to anywhere else. Okay, do they do tours at the fortress? Kind of. What they have is they have a tram tour where they have like, it's like at Universal Studios where you go on the tram ride. It's kind of like that. A voice goes out and talks to you while you're driving around, telling you where you're at, and drives around the castle area, the walls, and it's really pretty. And I've taken that tram tour twice, or no, 2 or 3 times, at least twice that I can remember clearly. And I would like to do that again today. Unfortunately, I don't know what it's called. I don't know how to check the times. I don't know where to buy tickets. So if anyone else wants to check the time, if it's like coming up soon, if I can get tickets easily, I can go on the tram and take everyone on the tram. I don't know. But if not, we're just doing the live stream here. Let's see. Are you in South Korea? Yes. Your learn Hangul in 90 minutes was so helpful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching it. I know a lot of people have learned Hangul from that video. I'm glad. Let's see. Is Naver Dictionary a good way to... Yes, I like Naver Dictionary. I'd recommend using Naver Dictionary. Let's see. Are there schools in Seoul where they teach foreigners Korean? Yes. If you are interested in learning Korean in Korea, there are many schools that offer such a program. In fact, really the best way to learn Korean is in Korea if it's possible. Of course, you don't have to. You don't have to be in Korea to learn Korean. A lot of people learn Korean outside of Korea. But if you get the chance, definitely I would recommend doing that. Okay, let's see. What to learn after Hangul? Check out my channel. I have a video called What to Learn After Learning Hangul. What's next after learning Hangul, I believe it's called. Check that out, and you can watch that. Do you know sister? I don't know that. Your videos are great. I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching them. Spam tastes good with kimchi. Yes! If you ever visit Korea, and if you eat like real standard Korean food, like I'm not talking about going to like fancy restaurants every day, but if you just have regular Korean food, like food that people normally eat at their houses, Spam is a very popular addition, a very popular side, and it's great. Like, I never thought Spam tasted good when I was in the US because I didn't know how to eat it. I thought you just open the can and just take a big bite out of the block. But no, if you chop it kind of thin and you fry it in a pan and make the outside crispy, and then you eat that together with rice, oh, especially if you can chop it into small cubes and fry it together with kimchi, it's great. It's really good. Let's see. Taryn says, thank you so much for everything you've done for the Korean language community. Oh, I almost missed that. I'm even helping my mom learn Hangul. The way her face lit up when she realized how to write her own name. Oh, that's nice. Oh, if someone's spamming, you can just hide their messages. I can't see it because sometimes the chat goes so quickly, so. Okay. Let's see. You're the absolute goat. It's funny because when we made the fandom name Go Billy Goats, that goat word wasn't used yet. It wasn't a thing. And then now it is, so I guess it's kind of nice. We got the fan name before that word became a popular expression. Thank you so much. I really need to play catch up. How do you feel? Do you feel embarrassed when taking the mask off to eat or drink? Nope. If I was in like a crowded area, I simply wouldn't drink in the first place. Oh, hey, Michaela Sova. I enjoy your videos so much. Hope you're well. Thank you so much. I was carrying something heavy a few days ago, and I actually injured my my shoulder a little bit. So I shouldn't do a lot of dabs, but I'm gonna do slow dabs. So I get five slow dabs for the donation. Oh God. Actually, you know what? I can't take it. People are gonna watch. They're gonna see this foreigner in the middle of the Suwon Castle area doing like dabs and stuff. Okay. So don't donate too much. I don't want to do too many dabs here. But thank you. Okay, what is this place called? This is Suwon Castle or Suwon Fortress. You can look up. I was literally watching, Aishna, I was literally watching your videos a while back. I'm from India. Thank you for putting up such elaborate and understanding videos. Thank you for watching them. Koreans are friendly with tourists. Yep. Okay. So you're just swatting a fly with two hands. Yeah, now I don't want to dab, exactly. Does South Korea still require... Yes, they do. Koreans are friendly. Yep. We already answered that. Idols have security. It's a bad idea. Yeah, you're not going to be hanging out with any idols in Korea. If that's your dream, it's not going to happen. At least not in a random situation on the street. If you want to meet idols in Korea, you have to join a company. You'd have to join a company in Korea. But if you're joining a company, that's because you are an idol. So meeting another idol is meeting just like a peer. It's not going to be meeting like an idol quite the same way. It's like, if you're already in that business, you can meet those types of people. Or your best way of meeting an idol is just to go to a fan sign event, because they do lots of fan signing. So you go there, you buy their autograph, you buy like a picture of them, you have them sign it, you say hi, you talk with them a little bit, and you leave. Oh, Muku! Hey, thanks, Muku! Had to get up in the middle of the night to take medication, but couldn't go back to sleep. However, now I can watch the stream. Next coffee's on me. Thank you, Muku. I'm gonna get a drink as soon as this is over, because today is pretty hot. God, nobody look. Oh, it's okay. There aren't very many people here. There actually is a small group now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of like 7 people. Ocean Discovery, good question. Will you be buying more hats in Korea? 한국에서 새로운 모자를 살 겁니까? It's 사다, just with one of the shield, not 2. Will I be buying more hats? I thought about that, and yes, if I find a nice hat, I will buy it. Hi Billy, could you give me some tips to get used to the grammatical structure of Korean? I find it difficult in long sentences. Sumi, I have some tips. Better though, I made a whole live stream about sentence structure. And I recommend watching that instead of me poorly trying to summarize that again for you. I give some tips for like how you can remember how the order of sentences goes and how to use each thing. So check that one out. There's a playlist on my channel for the abridged live streams, and check that one out. And if it's too fast, then you can watch the original live stream, which is also up. J1, I badly want to donate just to see you dab. Okay. Billy, would you say you're fluent? Yeah, I would hope that I'm fluent in Korean. I've been studying Korean now for this next month. Actually, maybe this month. I can't remember exactly the month I started. It was June or July or something. It will be 16 years since I've studied Korean, since I started studying Korean. So yes, I am fluent. Molly, thank you for your great videos. Question: if I teach English in Korea, which city do you recommend? Oh gosh. You might not get to pick though, because I know some friends who wanted to go to Seoul and they ended up in other smaller cities. But if you can pick, I would just recommend a major city if you want to have access to like if you want to be hanging out with other people who you know in Korea, a big city will have more opportunities and more things to do. So Seoul, number 1, Seoul. But there is a benefit to not being in Seoul, because if you're not in Seoul, you're going to experience more of the Korean language, likely. There will be fewer people who speak Korean, probably. You'll get to see more of the Korean countryside, so perhaps, more trees, more nature stuff, different age groups. You might get to interact with different age groups in that. Whereas in Seoul, it's going to be basically just people your own age that you hang out with. I still would probably recommend Seoul, somewhere near Seoul, just because there's the most stuff to do there. And unless you've already been to Korea a bunch of times and you don't like the big city, I would still recommend Seoul. But yeah, thanks. Ow. Okay, I think that's the only... Oh, I got another one. Cheryl. Hwasong Hangul Palace. Departure time every hour on the 40. Okay, well, that already passed. I'm not sure if that's updated information, though, if that's after or before this whole situation started. Because I know it might have been that, and they might have changed it, but I didn't see the tram leave. But it could also just be they don't leave if no one's on it. So, but thank you. Okay, Rahani or Rajani, I probably, after I read it, I'm like, probably Rahani. How many years do we need to learn basic Korean, like master basic Korean, like you mean basic conversational Korean? That is actually an impossible question to answer without any more information about context, because it can vary wildly from 3 months if you're living in Korea and doing intensive study, to 5 years if you're just, or longer, or never if you're just kind of casually learning, like 20 minutes a week or something. So I can't really answer that question. Yeah, I can't really answer that question without giving a wrong answer for that. Okay, with Hagwon you get more of a choice on where you can teach. That is true. Yeah, Hagwon you can get more of a choice, but I would recommend, from what I've heard, I would recommend not teaching at a Hagwon if you can. I would recommend teaching at an actual school, because you'll get treated better. The pay might be the same, or similar, but you have much better schedule. You're treated better, like an actual, more like an employee, less like just, I guess, I don't know what the word would be. It's better treatment at a school than a hagwon. Hey, Caitlin, wave to that small group over there. Oh, they just left that way. But I waved to them, but they didn't look. they're walking over that way. Unless there's another small group. No, that was the small group. Okay, hold on. You said something though. Thank you for this live stream. I really appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you for the $5 donation. Good. Okay. Let's go down to the newer chat. Have you ever met viewers in South Korea? Yes. Last time I came to Korea, I did a meetup actually. Some more water. I did a meetup in 2019, and there's actually a video about that on my channel. About, I think, 25 people came, and it was fun. And originally, I was planning to do another video for this trip, but this trip won't work. Perhaps though, the next time I come to Korea, maybe if I come again in November, which I'm planning, then I can do a fan meetup then again. It's 3 a.m. for me. Cecilia, wow, that is early today. Okay, let's change the view a little bit. Let's see if we can move the green screen a little bit. There we go. Let's get that. That looks nice too. Okay. Put this up a little bit. You doing one sometime soon? No, there will not be one this trip. Due to the laws right now actually prohibit meetings over 4 people. So I can't do a fan meetup right now. Whoa, Amanda. Amanda, I hope you are having a good time. Thank you, Amanda. All right, we got to do 24 and 99% of a dab. Okay, there is no one here. Oh gosh, there is nobody here right now. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We're going to do dabs. Hold on. I'm going to make this good. I'm going to make this good for you, Amanda. There's no one else here. There's some people were watching though from like far away, but there's no one right here. Okay. Oh no, there's someone watching. I hope someone suddenly walks past confused. Yeah, I don't even think they know what dabbing is. They're like, what are you doing? Like dancing with one arm. Count. No, I did 25. It must have just lagged. Okay, fine. I'll do 2 more just in case. What city should I choose for studying there? I already answered that question previously. 선생님 거기 버스 많이 지나. Hold on, it went up. 다니는 곳이에요? No, actually no. If you want to get here, you would have to transfer. Wherever you come from, you would have to transfer buses a few times. So I actually got off at a different bus stop and then walked here for 20 minutes because it was easier than having to like transfer bus and then you know, then get off, because this is kind of out of the way from, it's not close to any subway stations, and it's far from any major bus stops. Tridia Lim asks, do you have any tips for finding the dictionary form of verbs? The best way is to, well, one is to not learn the verbs except in the dictionary form in the first place. Only learn the dictionary form when you learn new verbs. And the other tip would be learn conjugation rules. In fact, master conjugation rules, so that you can know all of the possible verbs it could be. But there is no other tips beyond that. Like if I want to guess a verb, like if I hear the word 더워요, like someone says, oh, 더워요, it's hot, 더워. Well, I know that there is a verb conjugation rule, which is common, where you have a piup at the end of the verb stem that becomes a uo sound. So I would know, well, this has to be 더우다 or 덥다. You know, I would have it has to be at least those two as far as conjugation rules are concerned. And I can look both of those up and figure out, oh, well, 덥다 is the only one that makes sense, so it's 덥다. David Myung, do you like K-pop? And if you do, what is your favorite group? It's a difficult question. I don't know. I don't know who I would say is my favorite group. I don't listen to any one group exclusively, but just because they were nice enough to meet me last time I came here, I'll say Purple Beck. because I made a video about them on my channel. The car is honking because some guy's blocking the middle of the road. Okay, 날이 더워지는데 괜찮나요? Ah, Johnny. 밖에 더워요. Hey Johnny. Hey Johnny. What's up? What is the best Korean translator? There is no good Korean translator. If you're talking about the best of the worst, that would be Papago or Naver translator, but there is no like good translator. 바람은 많이 부는 것 같아서 괜찮긴 하겠네요. 습하지 않아서. 예, 오늘 날씨가 그렇게 습하지 않은 것 같아요. Yeah, Papago is probably the best, but don't use translators. Someone else made that comment. I agree with that. What do you think is the best way? Okay, Blocka Cole asks, what do you think is the best way for studying new Korean vocabulary? As an early beginner, the best way is probably just going to be focusing on grammar, because you're going to learn those basic words like 고양이, you know, 가다, 하다, all of those things. You're going to learn them just by learning the grammar forms. Beyond that, the best way is by using it. So making a sentence using that vocabulary word of your own, and then actually using that in a real conversation. Otherwise, I promise you're going to forget. Oh, hey, there's a tram. I can show you real quick. Wait, I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Okay, you see right here. This is the tram. You can see it right here. It's waiting. It's waiting at the stop. And that's the tram you'll take if you're gonna be doing a tour around the whole castle. So it's pretty cool. Okay, I'll bring the camera back over here. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what time they're doing it at or where I get tickets. So we'll see. But that would be fun to go on there. Okay. 선생님 거기가 어디야? 여기 수원 화성이요. Why did you start learning Korean? What interested you? That is a huge question for another video. I did do a video called How Learning Korean Changed My Life, where I talk about that briefly. So I would recommend checking out that video. That probably has a good enough story for it. It's a long story, but that's the short version. Do you think it's okay to study abroad even if you don't know Korean? That's why you can do studying abroad, to learn Korean. Would you say Papago? We actually just talked about that. Someone just asked that as a question. I am Girish from India. I learned so much Korean from you. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for watching my channel. From Chris. Did you have to get tested right after you got it? No, we got tested. It was actually 2 days. For us, it was actually 2 days after that we did it. It's changed though. Originally, it was testing at the airport and waiting for your results. And then they changed it to testing the next day because they don't want to have everyone just waiting at the airport and managing like a big system for that. And then it's like next day, but it could be like a day after. It depends, whatever they tell you. Information stand somewhere close. Yeah, there is an information stand right there. I'd say it's probably in there. 이번 한국 방문에 다시 팬 미팅. Johnny, 이번에는 없어요. 다음에 할 거예요. 다음에 11월 달 다시 오게 되면. Let's see. What is common salary of part-time job? I'm not sure. I've never had that kind of job in Korea before, part-time job. So I don't know what the salary is. It's probably quite low. What is your schedule for the next few days? I believe Wednesday. So today it's Monday in Korea, Monday morning. Wednesday it's supposed to rain. 답변 감사. Yeah, sure, Johnny. Tomorrow I'm thinking of going to Talk to Me in Korean's offices and saying hi to Kanu there. Maybe bothering him a bit, distracting him, filming a video. We'll see how it goes. Is it hard to breathe? No, it's zero. PDC 몇 살이에요? Right now I just turned 35. Do you have any information about Korean language institutes there? No, I have never attended a Korean language institute in Korea, so I'm not sure about it. Let's see. Molly says, a lot of the Korean people told me that the show Friends was really helpful to them with learning English. Is there a show like that in Korea? Like something that's equally good for learning? Yeah, a lot of Koreans I've talked with as well have said that they use, well, let me turn my camera up, it's a little low. A lot of Koreans I've spoken with have said that they use Friends for practicing their English. I think it's because it's easily accessible. It's fairly understandable, like the humor, they can understand it to Koreans. It's been subtitled a lot, it's been on TV. It's just a common show that Koreans know about. For Korean though, however, no, not really. There isn't really any show quite like that everybody knows, that everybody has seen, that would be good for also, that's like good for practicing Korean, so probably not. Dad jokes galore. Yeah, but I have to be careful because if I'm making too many dad jokes with Hyunwoo, they're gonna kick us both out. So be like, 저리가, 나가. I personally recommend Welcome to Waikiki for learning Korean. It is, I don't know that. It's a show. Okay, let's see. Was it hard for you to learn Korean as an absolute beginner? Yes, of course. It was hard. That's one of the reasons that I really like teaching Korean, is because I know a lot of people are having the same types of difficulties that I had when I was learning. So I want to try to explain what I went through to learn those things. Hey, Walnut! 맛있는 거 많이 먹고 좋은 하루 보내세요. Thank you. 감사합니다, Walnut. Thank you, Walnut. That's nice. So far, I've gotten $57 from this live stream. This is great. I'm gonna get like a nice lunch after this is done. And if you've just come in, I'm gonna be streaming today. If you have any questions, you can have a chance to ask. I'll be doing streaming for at least another 20-30 minutes. And then if it starts getting too hot, I'll stop. Or if it starts getting busy here, I'll stop as well. Okay. Is it hard to learn? Okay, SOPP Sonic. Is it hard to learn dialects, like Busan dialect? Can you talk to them? Is it impossible to communicate? No, it's not hard. It just takes time, like any dialect. And the best way to learn the dialect is to go to that area and be exposed to it. I do not think you're going to have much luck studying dialect outside of that area, unless it's only done for an academic purpose. Like you can learn like the basics, like traits and stuff before you go there. But if you actually want to learn how to speak a dialect, you need to be living in that place, because dialect isn't just saying some words that they say. For example, if I wanted to learn how to speak British English, which is technically kind of like a dialect of, it's different than American English. And American English, of course, is another dialect in itself. Even if I just learned the words like water, Harry Potter, that doesn't sound, that's not how they talk. You can't simply learn a few little things about the dialect and words and think that you can speak the dialect. I would have to go to England and live there and practice trying to copy how they talk. That's the only way to do it. And the same happens with Korea. Yeah, I know. Hopefully nobody from England was watching right now. But yeah, we could... I tried to do that also when I used to work doing telephone translation mostly from Korean to English, I think. Yeah, mostly Korean to English. And I also did, toward the end of my work, maybe the last 4 or 5 months, I was working doing with people in Australia and New Zealand a lot. So I got used to hearing, at that time, this was like over 10 years ago, I got used to hearing Australian and New Zealand English. So I would just unconsciously try to imitate how they talked on the phone. Yeah, but if I had actually worked there for a lot longer doing that, I probably would be able to speak like an Australian person or a New Zealand person. But because it was so short, I've now forgotten it, and I never really got to get good at it. You want to be careful with dialects because it can sound like you're imitating them. Yes, that is, however, I think less of a problem in Korea if you're not a Korean, because they will just think you're trying to speak that dialect. I don't think they would think you're making fun of them. I would think that they would just be curious. Why are you learning that dialect? That's it. they're not going to think you're trying to make fun of them, I think. If you actually speak that way when you talk. Molly says, a dad joke. 가장 안전한 감옥은 안전한 감옥. Hold on. 안전한 감옥. 제일 안전? 제일 안전? What is it? What's the answer? It's probably something like 안전 제일. 안전 제일. Right? Let's see. Can you speak 전라도? No, I've never been to 전라도 before. Lynette says, I'm in England, but 저는 Zimbabwe 사람. Okay, it's right. I thought it would be 제일 안전. Okay. 안전 제일. Yeah, 안전 제일. That's right. That's right. 안전 제일. But that's kind of obvious, though. That's kind of obvious. Any tips to remember and pronounce Hangul faster? Learning the language. If you're just trying to get good at the alphabet, it's never going to happen unless you also get good at the language, because you won't be able to read Hangul faster until you already know what the word says before you start reading it. 축바지엔. 네, 한국이요. 여기 수원 화성이요. Okay. Okay, Philip asks, Philip Sullivan, do waiters, cashiers in Korea still try to speak English with you? No. That doesn't happen that happened when I was a beginner and when I was an intermediate. Before I was actually like fluent in Korean, that happened a lot. Where I would look at someone and the first thing they would say is like, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. Or they say, sorry, what you order? Or, I'm not imitating exactly what they said. Some of them would be good and some of them wouldn't. But after I learned Korean, you kind of pick up on a different way of talking to people. You don't just like stand there with wide eyes and look at them. That shows you're a tourist. You convey with your body language that you know what they're saying, that you know how to speak. So you look normal, like as if you're not impressed, you're not like taking pictures, you're not a tourist. And they approach you, they speak Korean. They assume that you've been living in Korea if you kind of act like you're not from another place. So it's a different behavior as well. I think he may be talking about how once you see a certain word amount of times, you no longer need to read each letter, you just know the word from sight. Yes, that will happen after you've learned the language. It will not happen just by learning Hangul by itself. Anna asks, can I use Romanation for a little bit when learning Hangul? Hangul, sure. When you're learning Hangul, you kind of need a reference just so you can even learn it in the first place, but not any of the language. So if you're writing words with Romanization, that is wrong, 100% wrong. If you're writing just the syllables by themselves while you're trying to get them in your head for reference, that's fine. That's not going to hurt because you're not going to be speaking anyway at that level. But as soon as you start actually learning the language, 100% throw it out the window. Don't even touch it. It will become a crutch that will hold you back because you'll always feel like, oh, I should write this down so I can read it. Oh, I should write, and you won't be learning the language because it'll feel so easy to do it, but you'll be doing it wrong. Yeah, that was a police car. Pretty normal. If you see a police car in Korea, most of the time they're just going to check out someone parking wrong or something. I don't know what that one was going for, but you're not going to see police chases or getting pulled over for speeding or expired plates or anything like that in Korea. They're coming to get you. Yes. No, it's okay. I'm wearing my mask. They will not come to get me. I'm totally safe here. Originally, I was planning to do public dabbing. There's a sign that has like, a stick figure man doing this and like a big X over it. Has like a, you'll be subject to $200 fine for dabbing. And or 50% of your YouTube revenue. And it just has a stick figure with like a blue hat and a checkered shirt. It's just for me. Yeah, low-key looking like, that's what I first thought when we're wearing masks. I'm like, I'm like, rob a train or something, like wearing this. Let's see. Someone says, have a Japanese lesson 2, please. No, I have thought about that because I actually learned Japanese for 3 years before I did Korean. And at the time, I was not bad at it. I was maybe intermediate level for speaking and understanding. It was a little bit higher. So maybe a decent intermediate level. And I still remember a lot of my listening skills. So I can still listen to a lot of Japanese, no problem. But my ability to teach is different than my low ability to understand. So just because I can understand, like, okay, that does not mean I can explain it. Because I didn't study long enough to get that deep understanding of the language like I did for Korean. And I don't want to start teaching Japanese and make a mistake or teach something wrong and have it hurt my reputation as a Korean teacher. Ivana asks also, would you ever consider learning Japanese again? Well, like I said, I did Japanese for 3 years, so have I ever considered learning it again? Yes, but I realized that I should be focusing on Korean because this is my job. This is everything I do, is teaching Korean, managing YouTube channel, working on books, projects, the series, stuff like that. So I don't want to take away my time with another language. Ivana asks also, do you think... Okay, Ivana, I have a video about that, actually. Check out my Korean FAQ series and search for the keyword Japanese. You'll find it. Oh, Blue. Hey, Blue, that's a very good question. Did you notice that your voice changes when you switch the language? Yes, I noticed that early on. When I was a beginner, actually, I noticed that when I would speak Korean, at that time, my voice would get much higher. Because I didn't know what I was saying. I was like really not confident when I spoke Korean. So I would be like, 안녕하세요, 반갑습니다, like really like hi, because I didn't know what I was saying. And as I got better at Korean, I got better at 네, 안녕하세요, 네, 반갑습니다. 네. So my voice is a little bit lower in Korean now, I think, than it is in English. But I do know, but also in some ways faster. So it's different. Yeah, and everyone will be different. Maybe when you speak Korean, you'll prefer a higher voice or a lower voice. That's up to you. Saying that your voice will get lower when you speak Korean better isn't accurate. Your voice will change, however, when you speak Korean, because you'll find within your language, within the Korean language, you will find a personality, because you cannot have your same, American or whatever personality when you're speaking in Korean 100%. Because the culture is different. You're not going to be saying the same things in the same ways. So you're going to change, and when you speak Korean, you're going to have a slightly different personality. This is a normal thing that happens. So for me, this personality I prefer in Korean is a little bit deeper, a little bit faster, a little bit... I speak a little differently. If you watch my videos in Korean and English, I talk differently in Korean. Okay, J1 asked, do I have any merch? Yes, I do. There should be a link in the video description. You can check it out. 빌리 씨 한국 가르치는 No, you don't say you wouldn't say 하는. That's the Catholic and Protestant word for a god. 신 is probably what you want. 신 is just general, a general god of something like that. But they don't even necessarily say that. They might just say kat. That would be a different lesson, though, to explain how to say that word. In your entire life, how long have you spent time in Korea? Oh, wow, that's a good question. Let's see. A little over 3 years. It would be between 3 and 4 years, I guess, if I put it all together. Maybe closer to 4? Yeah, maybe about 4. Let's just say 4 years. 갓필리. Yeah. People might say 갓필리 like that or something. Okay. Do you have any tips for working with a Korean boss? I live in the US, but my boss is Korean, and it feels like we are always miscommunicating. I wish you luck, Molly. I also have worked at a Korean company before in the US. A couple times. Actually, 1, 2, 3 times. And The best advice I would have is grin and bear it. It's just a different culture. You might not get treated so well, depending on your company. This isn't to say everyone is. But yeah, it's a thing. Just communicate better. Oh, you're sad? Just be happy. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. Thoughts on Korean fried chicken? I have all of the thoughts on Korean fried chicken. And one of them is Korean fried chicken easily beats any American fried chicken with only a couple exceptions. Like maybe like Roscoe's is up there. Korean fried chicken is like New York, is like pizza in New York, right? You go to New York and all the pizza's like decently good. You go to Korea and all the fried chicken is good. Whereas in the US you might get like, KFC or, even McDonald's has like fried chicken. And you'll have it and you're like, it's okay. You go to Korea and you can order from any random mom and pop shop and you'll get decent chicken. You'll be like, oh, this is good. So yeah, it's hard to find bad chicken in Korea, I think. If you like fried chicken, it's hard to find bad chicken. Did you try the BTS meal? No. I mean, every time I go to McDonald's and order a 10-piece chicken McNugget, I have technically had the BTS meal minus the bag. So I guess, yeah, sure. But I haven't had it this trip. This trip I didn't get that. Okay, when you resume your regular videos, would it be possible to do some videos where you have natural conversations in Korean for intermediate advanced listening practice? I've thought about that, but the thing is, I want to be an honest teacher to you. So, oops, hold on. I want you to learn grammar from me. Culture is okay, how the language works, vocabulary, all of that stuff. But when it comes to actually the listening part for practicing your listening, I want you to learn from a native. I want you just to listen to a native. Learn from the best, right? The best is a native. No matter how fluent my Korean can get, give me another 50 years, maybe I'll be almost indistinguishable from a native. Who knows? A native is still going to be the best. You still want natives for teaching you for everything from intonation, pronunciation, just cadence, how do people talk, the way people talk. So that's why whenever I have a section of my video where I need to have like Korean listening practice or something like that, I just have a native do it. I want it to be as 100% perfect as possible. So, yes, variety shows would be best. So yeah, someone was talking about that. I recommend variety shows, not dramas. Okay. Francis, please be careful there in Korea. Thank you for your lessons and live stream. Thank you, Francis. Let's see. How to say where is the restroom? That's a very good thing. 화장실이 어디 있어요? 화장실 is restroom, and you can say 어디 있어요? Where is it? 화장실 어디 있어요? Where's the bathroom? Easy. Very important thing to know. Even if you don't speak any Korean, you should know how to ask. 화장실 어디 있어요? 저기요, 혹시 화장실 어디인지 아세요? Do you know where the bathroom is? Okay, do you make tests? Yes, I have a whole series, Korean test questions. Okay, Cold Overkill asks, have you ever visited Korea during the winter? If so, would you recommend? Oh man, I do not recommend summer or winter. But if you have to pick one, I would say summer, just because in the winter you can't even go outside. Like, it's just freezing. Your hands, you'll wear like 3 layers and your hands are just frozen, your face is frozen. You don't want to take pictures. You can't even push the buttons on your phone. In summer, you're going to be like really sweating and hot, but you could go outside if you really wanted to. 안녕하세요. So I was just doing the live stream, and so suddenly this person just walks by. This like lady, maybe, I don't know, like 60s. It's like staring at me, like no mask, just like nods to me. Like, okay. And smiles. 겨울은 제주도, 통영, Busan. Yeah, that's true. Busan is a little bit, it's still really cold though. I was in Busan during the winter. It's still very cold, but it is comparatively less than like Seoul or other places. 할머니께 인사하셨네요. Yeah, she's just kind of like, I'll reenact it. She's walking. That's pretty much what happened. Is it illegal to not wear a mask in wide open spaces? Technically, it is vague. If I want to be honest, it is vague. But officially supposed to be any outdoor space. But then the specifics say any indoor space where you can't be socially distanced, you have to wear a mask. And anywhere it's posted that says you're supposed to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask. But I couldn't find the official rules on exactly what outdoor spaces you're supposed to be wearing a mask at, because technically if you're eating and drinking outside, which lots of people do, you're not wearing a mask when you're eating and drinking. So I would say you're supposed to wear a mask anywhere you go outside unless you're eating and drinking. But then some people just kind of carry around a drink, you know, and it's vague. It's vague. But if someone asks you to put on a mask, like if a worker comes up and tells you to put on a mask and you don't, you can get fined. So you can kind of, like, I wasn't sure whether I should be wearing a mask for this live stream either, because technically there isn't really a rule. It's not, I couldn't find the official rule about it. But if someone were to ask me to put it on, I would have to. And I want to set a good example. So that's why I'm wearing a mask anyway. Oh, 사사! 사사상! 안녕하세요. 사사상 너무 좋네요. 어서 오세요. 사사상 너무 좋아. That's my favorite Twitch streamer. You should all check her out. I'll do it if she ever meets me. I'll do a collab. 네, 여기 화성이요. 수원 화성. 창녕문요. Are there any restrictions on how many people are allowed? Right now, the restrictions are no more than 4 people. But like I said, next month that will change. If you are vaccinated, you can meet with any other people you want who are vaccinated. And you don't have to wear a mask out in public if you're vaccinated. And if you're visiting family, you don't have to do quarantine in Korea if you're vaccinated. So lots of stuff is changing from the beginning of July. How long will you be in Korea? I'm going to be in Korea until the 8th. No, is that right? 9th? I have to check. It's like 7th, 8th, or 9th, or something like that in the first week of August. But I have to check the exact date because I don't remember now. But it's the first week in August. It's the first week in August. I can tell you that. 빌리한테 반말을 해도 돼요? 안 돼요. 안 돼요. Billy, were you? Yes, in the U.S. I was. Back in April, actually. What ages are able to get the vaccine there, right? In Korea, I believe everyone over 50 can get it, but if you are younger, you can also get it in certain conditions. Like if you get a appointment that was like opened up, you can get it. Also, people who are in the military, I think, can get it. There's a lot of like, if you're this, you can get it anyway. Yeah, Ryujin, you're right. Billy, I am not fluent. Like, Billy is not fluent. I'm talking to about myself in the third person. Yes, Billy is not fluent in Japanese, so Billy will not be making any Japanese lesson videos. How does one tell? That's a good question. That's a good question. That's all I'll say. Sing one song in Korean as an ending in live stream. Song in Korean? No, thank you. No, thank you. Is there another word except oppa, 언니 when you talk to a stranger older than you? You do not. Okay, you never want to say oppa, 언니 to strangers older than you. That would be rude. Oppa, 언니 are for your people who you are close with. So like friends, maybe really close friends. Never for strangers. Oh, 사사! 사사상! 감사 사사상. It's really hot today. Take care of your health. Billy, you're the best. Wow, Sasa, you're English. Sasa is a Korean. She's super cool and super cute. She's a Korean streamer. You should check her out. Sasa, thank you. I'm gonna do five dabs because you donated to me 5,000원. 5,000원을 주셨으니까 탭 5번 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you. Yeah, VTuber. She's a VTuber. I'll do a collab with her maybe when I get back to. I think she doesn't do real collabs with real people because she only lives inside of the computer. So maybe I have to go back to my house in the U.S. Her Twitch is Sasa. So if you search Sasa and then 44, you'll find her. Yes, she's my favorite streamer. Do Koreans also use 언니, 누나 with foreigners? No, you will not use those with foreigners unless you are friends. Like I said, if you're close, then yes, you can use it. Yeah, Sasa44 on Twitch. You can. It's easy to find her. There's only one. And video vlogs that idols use to upload to their channels could be a good option for practicing vocabulary. All those videos always have subtitles. Ah, vlogs. Yes, vlogs would be fine too. Vlogs, anytime that they're speaking regular Korean, so it's not scripted. If what they're saying is not scripted, anything like that is okay. So that includes all variety shows. It also includes vlogs. However, if you do a variety show, you'll get a larger variety of Korean. So still, I prefer variety shows. People around looking. There's no one here. It's like right now. I feel like the John Travolta meme. It's like. Yeah, there's no one here right now. Why are scripting listening practices not good? When dramas are scripted, the writer knows exactly what the character should say in that moment in the best way possible that sounds conveying as much information as possible in the most fancy way to sound interesting. Right? What if a drama character says, hey, I think the killer it's Mr. Lee. We should go over there. Yeah, let's go over there. That's a good idea. Is that interesting? Is that interesting? Tell me. No! The person's gonna say, I've made my assumptions now that I believe Lee must be the real killer based on this deduction I had the other night when I was in the shower. Wow, that's an amazing deduction, partner. We should go right on it before he escapes. Yes, we must embark quickly before he leaves. Like, that's a drama script, right? Because it's more engaging. However, that's not how Koreans talk. So you do not want to practice Korean from watching dramas. Dramas are entertainment. So if you're already good at Korean, you can watch. Land Cynical. If it's unrelated, yes, her Twitch is ch_sasa. That's right. But please understand, if you go to her stream, her English, she's learning English. So be nice to her. Okay, you have to be really nice to her. She's very sensitive. Yeah, just be nice. You can tell her Billy sent you. J1 asks, can you also use Togyo when you want to have someone? Yes, that's a very good way to get someone's attention. Togyo, Yogyo, excuse me, like, hey, over there. That's a very good way to say excuse me. Derp says VTubers are so kind. I have watched a lot of Korean, or not just Korean, but just VTubers before, and I still think Sasa is my favorite. So that's just my personal recommendation. I don't know if it's good for learning Korean, but you will learn very, very interesting Korean if you watch her stream. I'll say that. Very interesting Korean. Okay, please recommend some variety shows. 무한도전. That's all I know. Any variety show, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be fine. They're all going to be fine. Really, they're all fine. If the variety show is actually a variety show, it's fine. Running Man, sure. You can do the shows where they have like where people visit a location. You can do the shows where it's like a quiz show, but it's variety. There's a show where the dad appears with the parents. I mean, dad with the parents, dad with their kids, like it's family. Anything like that is okay. Watching 아는 형님 has helped my listening a lot. Okay. K-pop Stan asks, why is Cheiju dialect different from other dialects in Korea? Why is it different? Because, well, there's actually a lot of reasons for that. The main reason is because it's separated from Korea. It was not used as part of Korea, actually. It was kind of separate, its own kingdom. Okay, that's way over simplification. Short answer is because it's separated by a large body of water. The other reason is because it had different usage through history than Korea. So it gave it a lot of opportunities to become different. Ivana Hussein, yes, it is Sasa 44. I don't know when she's streaming again though. Today or tomorrow. She streams like every 3 days, I think. I'm like, today is advertising for Sasa. I miss Korea Heart. Thank you. Rohan asks, have you used Cheju all in Cheju before? Sure. Everyone can use some Cheju all in Cheju Island. All you have to do is say 반갑습니다. 안녕하세요. Hello, nice, or yeah, well, 반갑습니다 you would think it means 반갑습니다, but actually it's just kind of like saying 안녕하세요 in Cheju. So there's a lot of different culture things, but basic Cheju 말, like the type of Cheju dialect that you will see in my Cheju dialect video. 혼자 없어요 is also, yes. 어서 오세요. 혼자 없어요 is that type of stuff. It's in my video about Cheju dialect. Now, funny story. I spent a full, I'm not exaggerating, I spent a full month making my Cheju dialect video last year. It's on my channel. I think I uploaded it in like February or March or something like that. I spent a whole month making it, no exaggeration. I messaged the official Cheju dialect, like a group. They have like a group where they help with it. Sasa's Twitter. Oh, she doesn't have a Twitter, I think. I don't know. I don't think she has a Twitter. Just YouTube and Twitch. And a bunch of like donation websites and stuff. But I don't know if she has anything else. But I think I only got like 4,000, 5,000 views on that video. But I really liked that video. I'm very proud of it. So if you want to learn some basic Cheju dialect that is confirmed by the... Oh yeah, she also has a Discord. That is confirmed by the official Cheju dialect group and everything. Then check out that video. I did put a lot of work into it. And there's a part in that video where there's a part in that video where I hold up a big sheet of paper and I say like, we don't have time to go through all these words. That's not fake. That's real. That was all of the vocabulary words that I prepared originally. I went through and I prepared to put in that video, and I had to select just like, I think 5 or 6 or 10 or something, like a very small amount. But that was the original list, so it's real. I wasn't exaggerating when I showed that big stack of papers. Someone said, why are you guys asking about this Sasa girlfriend? Because she is special. Okay. Kristen Folger recommended you because you have great content. Yes, I saw her video. I was very surprised when I saw... I didn't know who she was. I mean, I'm not familiar with Filipina actresses, but I saw her video after people started coming from her channel. I think she brought me, no joke, I think after that video, she brought me, between that video and a few days after, like 3 or 4 days after, 15,000 subscribers from that one video. So I definitely noticed that she made that video, yes. Okay, Rohan says, where can you study Cheju though? Yeah, that's the problem, is that Cheju is actually dying language. You would have to go you would have to live there, step 1. Step 2 is you can attend classes for it. They are trying to keep it alive, but honestly, it's a dying language. Even people who speak it these days don't really speak it thick. It's like very simple version. And the only people who speak it natively, like really, really well, are people over 80. Like they're all over 80 years old. They're really old. I mean, it's sad to say, but the language is dying because the people who speak it are dying. And there's a long history lesson that goes into that. It's not just that people wanted to forget about it. It's not just that people didn't care anymore. It's actually it's a political thing, partially. You can search it up if you want. I'm not going to talk about it on this channel, but you can search if you like. If you search Cheju, you'll immediately find out the reason why there are not that many people who speak Cheju dialect anymore. So it will stay around. but it's going to be less and less each year. It'll mostly stay around thanks to the help of people who are trying to preserve it. I dare you to do a backflip and a dab. I can't do a backflip. I can't do a backflip, and actually I injured my arm picking up something. Sasa, even Koreans don't know Cheju dialect unless you're from Cheju. Yes, exactly. 영어 잘하시는데요? 영어 꽤 잘하시는데요? 번역기를 쓰시는 건가? But Sasa, I didn't know Sasa spoke any English. It actually seems very good. I'm surprised. 파파고 역시 파파고 Mr. Papago. 파파카라 파파고 역시. 그쪽 could be okay. It could be rude if you're referring to someone by 그쪽 and there is a better way you can refer to them. 그쪽 is kind of like a last resort, but I wouldn't use it first of all. 이분이 영어를 잘하심. Yeah. I learned about you from Kristen Folger. Yeah, I was so happy to see that video. I never know what celebrities or who watches my videos, and I'm always surprised if I see like someone's like, oh, I watch his videos. So yeah, anyway, I felt very, very good about that. It was like, wow, someone famous knows me. Now, by association, that makes me famous too, right? No. Okay. What about learning from Morka videos? Oh, yeah, like candid camera. Yeah, candid camera, we would say. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's not bad. Like I said, anything that's not scripted, that is real people talking, is going to have the same effect. But variety shows will get you a lot more variety. You're not going to be hearing just one person speak. In a variety show, you're going to hear lots of people speak different ways. So you'll hear 반말, 존댓말. Whereas in a vlog, you're only going to hear one. Morka is actually, some of them are scripted. It depends. In Korea, though, I don't think a lot of them are scripted. I think a lot of them are actually candid. And the reason I think that is because I've seen people doing it before in Korea. There is a, what was it? There's a famous candid camera YouTube channel in Korea. I can't remember the name. If someone said it, I would remember it. But there's a famous channel, and I got approached by them, and as soon as they started talking with me, I knew it was like 이상한 녀석 or something like that. I can't remember. As soon as I got approached by them, I immediately felt this is candid camera, because I'm not dumb. They didn't use me in their video though. It was 수상한 녀석, 수상한 녀석들, or something like that. Yeah, and they approached me while I was at Hangul doing a video, and yeah, they're like, he was like pretending that he was on the phone and asking me to be quiet. But as soon as he approached me, I felt like, oh, he's filming, because Koreans don't actually approach anyone on the street like that. It's really awkward. So I felt, oh, this is fake, but let me just play along because I don't want to ruin their video. But I was like, oh, okay. And then after he asked me if he can film, if he can use it, I'm like, yeah, but I don't think there's anything you can use. It wasn't very funny. It wasn't in the video. Let's see. Billy 씨 제 not 질문, not 칠, but 질. One without the chi. Life? I'm not sure what you mean. 외국인, LOL typo. Oh, I didn't see what you said. Trying to trick some, 와국인, I see. Non-summit? No. Non-summit is scripted. I know that because I knew someone who worked on the show. That is completely scripted in advance, but it's kind of complicated. It's not just like it's not quite like that, but yeah, it is scripted. Just like every talk show will be scripted. But that's normal. That's how you have to do it. Because imagine you're trying to film a talk show and you ask a question and the host doesn't know what you're talking about, or the guest doesn't know what you're talking about. That would be so awkward. 사사. 아니 왜? 제가 드려야 되는데 제가 사사 사사상한테 도네이를 해야 되는데 I think Billy teacher is so great. Billy Sam, Billy teacher. This person knows all the Korean names. 그거 아니야. 그거 아니야. I thought you must be Korean. 절대 한국인일 거라 생각했다고. 사사. Yeah, I'm gonna do special 5 dabs for Sasa. Special 5 dabs for Sasa. Nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. Okay, nobody saw me. Good. Good. It's funny, like can I say 누구가? Someone would be 누군가, but actually I have a video about this, but you can actually just say 누구 for someone, 뭐 for something, 어디 for somewhere, 언제 for sometime, what else? 어떻게 for somehow. Any of those can work as long as you have to change the intonation. So for example, you can say like 어디 갔어 or 어디 갔어 are different. 어디 갔어 is did you go somewhere? So if you de-emphasize the word, it adds the meaning of some. 뭐 먹었어? Did you eat something? Versus 뭐 먹었어? What did you eat? So, but if you don't know the intonation, just use the 어딘가, 뭔가, 언젠가. Just use the ga attachment to the end, like that. Yeah, I mean, at first I was getting more dabs, so I did them here. But I think now that there's still no one here and I'm still streaming, I think it's safe to do bigger dabs. So let's just see here. How does it feel to be back in Korea? It feels really good. It feels really good, honestly, because I rely on coming to Korea once a year so I can meet my friends and, eat food and go outside and exercise, get sun, take photos, make videos, make posts. I rely on it, but I couldn't last year, so it was really hard not coming back to Korea. So I was like almost crying, I think, when I was realizing I could go to Korea again. So I felt very good. And I like visiting here, yes. Let's see. How to say very cold in Korean. Not 아주, 아주. 아주 추워. And I would attach 요 to the end. 추워요. Because if you don't, then it's only appropriate for your closest friends. So to be safe, unless you have any other context, I recommend 추워요. How long are you staying there for? I'll be here until the first week of August. I'll leave the first week of August. So early August, I'll be back in the States. But if everything goes well, I would like to visit here again in November, and next year possibly come to Korea even 3 times. So I would like to be in Korea as much as possible, like close to half the year would be nice. I just saw the news and the police is looking for a guy doing dabs in the middle of nowhere. This isn't the middle of nowhere. Okay, this is Suwon Hwasong, Suwon Fortress, right? This place is really cool. This is probably my favorite place in Suwon, just because it's not a touristy spot. Like, it feels like, a real part of Korea. Although I know a lot of this is reconstruction because it had been destroyed, probably even more than once. But it feels more like a real part of Korea. It doesn't just feel like a touristy area, like, come here, buy the shirt, that sort of feeling. Well, let me move here. Okay. Someone asked, am I in South Korea or North? Take a guess. You have 50-50 chance. Okay. Gotta go to sleep. Oh yeah, take care, Christina. Question. A younger friend told me it's okay if I use 반말 with her, but she will use 요 to me. That's normal. Yeah, that's completely normal. That's normally how the friendships work. But if you don't want her to use 반말, you can tell her. But if you're close friends, then you would normally be the first person to tell her to use 반말. So in this situation, I'm guessing you've been friends for a while and she feels like uncomfortable that you're using polite speech to her, and she feels like, oh, he's older than me, he should use casual to me. I feel uncomfortable, like he's not my friend, and she couldn't endure it, so she just told you to speak 반말 to her. That's my guess. How's the weather there? Yes, it is hot, but it is okay. It is okay. Someone said, is it okay if I DM you on Instagram? Everyone DMs me on Instagram. I might not reply. It depends what it is and if I see it. But feel free. 빌리 점심 먹어야죠. 예, 저 점심 먹어야 돼요. 근데 아직 글쎄. Okay, I've been streaming now for an hour and a half. I'll do another 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to stop. Oh, hey, Evan, what's up? I used to be okay at Korean. You were okay at Korean. You were pretty good. But now, how should I get back? Dude, I remember after I first had, when I had lived in Korean when I first came back, I had the same situation where I started not doing Korean things anymore, and I started like losing that edge. Like I couldn't immediately think of what to say in Korean like I used to. The only way to do it is you have to start adding a bunch of immersion resources back. So the reason that you're kind of in that mindset is because you're always hearing Korean all the time and always using it, but really also just always hearing it. So I would start with something simple, like just going back and watching a bunch of, like finding variety shows that you might like to watch and just watching those in the background on a regular basis, like every single day, like a few hours a day, have those on in the background while you're doing stuff as a start. But eventually you will have to find a way to practice speaking. So I don't know, you could do live streaming, just like start a live stream and just start speaking in Korean for no reason. And anyone comes in, speak Korean, make your title in Korean, and do that. You'll probably get a few fans. That's also one thing I did because I wanted to keep my Korean up when I'm not in Korea. So I do live streaming and I just speak in Korean. And it works. It's really good because you get that confidence back of speaking Korean, and you get to learn new stuff, of course, also. But mostly it's just about you get used to using what you already know. So it's not really going to teach you so much new stuff as much as it will help you get back what you have. And I swear it might sound embarrassing if you're doing streaming, but it is not. If someone comes in like speaking English, you're like, oh no, I feel embarrassed speaking Korean. Just speak Korean to them. Like, who cares? Just speak Korean. If someone comes in and says like, oh, are you studying Korean? Just be like, 네, 한국어 지금 연습하려고 하고 있어요. I'm trying to practice Korean right now. And just do it. If you do it for just like a couple days already, you'll kind of feel like, oh, I'm getting back into it. And if you do it for a long term, it'll really help kind of get that back. Because you'll probably remember a lot of the stuff that you had at the time, you just haven't used it. Especially all of the basic conversation, that won't leave your brain, that'll stay there for a long time. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Angel George asked, is it hard to speak Korean once I learn Hangul? No, it's not hard, it just takes a long time. It's not hard. That's what I always say. Like, there are some concepts where if you're trying to understand them really deep, they can be difficult and challenging. But you don't need to always understand those concepts on a deep level to speak Korean. You just need to spend a lot of time practicing and listening, speaking, practicing, in order to get good at it. So no, it's not hard, but it does take a long time. So because it takes so long, people might think it takes a long time. I mean, that it's hard, but it's not. Arlie, when talking to Hyunwoo outside of filming, do you speak to each other in English? So, yeah, me and Hyunwoo, anyone who talk to me in Korean, knows that me and Hyunwoo is the leader of the Talk to Me in Korean gang. And I like him. I would say we're friends, right? So we're friends. So we are more comfortable speaking in English. And we've talked about this before. I don't care personally if I speak with someone in Korean or in English. I care that we communicate. So if I spend time with someone who's speaking in Korean and they prefer Korean, they're better, then I'll speak Korean with them. If I meet someone who speaks English like fluently, I'm not going to just try to speak Korean just to show off or just to practice my Korean. I just want to communicate. That's why I wanted Korean. I just wanted to communicate. It's just a method of communication. When I meet Hyunwoo, we also just speak in English. And in fact, we speak in English so often that sometimes we do have to speak in Korean, like if we're meeting with someone else who just speaks Korean. And at that, I kind of feel like it's fun. It's almost like humorous because I speak Korean very well. And Hyunwoo, of course, speaks Korean very well. He's native. But like while I'm speaking Korean, I'm kind of like, like, hey, Hyunwoo, we're speaking in Korean, you know? It kind of has that feeling. So yes, we usually just speak in English, but we have spoken in Korean before as well. It just depends on the situation. But his English is that good that I feel we get more done in English than in Korean. Okay, someone says, is Korea a collective society? Kind of. Should I use yo ending or 습니다 ending with an older person? That is, it's not that simple. If you want a simple answer, you should use, when you're talking about yourself, you can use the yo form, and when you're talking about someone else who's a stranger, I recommend using honorifics. And I do have a live stream all about honorifics. You can check that out. It's actually all about all the politeness levels. And if it's a little too fast, with that sort of question, I actually recommend watching the whole video because it moves slower. It's about 2 hours long. You can speed it up, but I think you might get more out of it having that time to process it versus the abridged video, which is like 17 minutes, but you might not be able to learn it all. Okay. All right, take care, K-pop stan. I'm gonna leave soon in just a couple minutes because I'm getting hungry. I want to eat some lunch. But don't worry, I will be doing another live stream from Korea sometime in the near future. So this time I'm here at Suwon Castle. Next time I'll be somewhere else. The next time I'll be somewhere else. But I would like to do at least 2, maybe 3 live streams while I'm here in Korea, just because why not? This is the best green screen in the world. 오늘 점심 메뉴는 뭔가요? 글쎄요. 수원 화성? 여기 근처에. I don't even know what they have here. I don't know what they have here. 추천할 만한 거 있어요? 오늘 뭐 먹을까요? What do you guys think I should eat for today, for lunch? I can, you guys suggest something good? Mr. Toilet House? What? Mr. Toilet House? I don't know what that is. What should I eat today for lunch? Maybe I can go eat that and then post a picture on my Instagram. 냉면, 불고기. Chicken Street. Oh, I love Chicken Street. I did a video there. That was amazing. 날이 더우니까 냉면. Okay, we have 2 votes for 냉면. 통닭길. Yeah, 통닭길. 통닭길, but the problem is it's going to be too much food for one person. I need to go with someone else. Okay, 4 votes for 냉면. I think it's going to be 냉면. 3 votes for tteokbokki though. Tteokbokki is always a good choice. I think 냉면 might be the right answer though. Maybe I should find a good 냉면 place here. 냉면. Okay, 5 votes for 냉면. 6 votes for 냉면? 7? Okay, 7 votes for 냉면. All right, today's lunch is going to be 냉면. All right, so I should stop here. I would love to keep going, but I think we've had our fun. Still, this place is empty. I don't know. What should I do? Let's do. Just to say thank you for everyone coming. I'm gonna do some dabs. Let's do some final dabs here before the police come and arrest me for dabbing. Yes, today will be 냉면. 고생했어요, 빌리. 더우니까 너무 뛰지 마요. Yeah, thanks for coming, Sasa. I'm so surprised. So surprised to see Sasa came to my stream. Thank you for everyone for coming. And I promise I will do another live stream. Give me a couple weeks because I have to like do some other videos. I have to pick a day for it. Thank you for coming. I will see you again in the next video. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. See you guys.